What's going on, people? It's your boy Ken Coff Bizz. Here for a Thursday, one of my favorite days of the week. And today I'm gonna do something a little different because for anybody that knows me from the pregame, y'all know how I used to get down, poured up and everything, and talk with the homies. Today is just me, so I'm not even doing that right now. I ain't even doing the sip today. I'm just drinking just regular H2O for the most part. Because I must say that everybody knows what I'm going to be talking about today. For anybody that doesn't know, and I shout it out, I rep it all the time. I am a Washington D.C. native, born and raised in this city, and I'm still here, currently live and direct from Southeast D.C., Symbol City. Y'all know what that's about. Listen. Hey, what's going on, Angie? How you feeling? Oh, yeah, and anybody that comes in, definitely, like, comment, subscribe, do what you do, to get me out there today. But because of the fact that you know that I'm a Washington, D.C. native, let me say this. A lot of people, they've been going with the whole narrative of what's white privilege and everything like that. I'm going to get to that. But first, just a quick little synopsis of it. The so-called leader of our country, at least for the next 13 days, since he lost the election, and rightfully so, he's been trying to get him to count votes, the count votes. Yes, the green on green. I'm doing it today. So what? It is what it is. Listen, right? Because of the fact that he's lost and he's been trying to get them to recount votes, we heard the audio of him trying to get the state of Georgia to just come up with votes, saying to find, 11,000 plus votes and this, that, and the third to try to help him overturn the election. They've done it for him. Yesterday at the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C., they were trying to come to whatever conclusion, final, arguments were being made and things of that nature. And it was going to be made official, after everything that Joe Biden was going to be the president-elect. And because of that, they're not going to be recounting anything. Now, the 45th told his supporters, to come out to the, pretty much to come out to the Capitol, get your protest on and everything like that. If you support me, if you love me, please do that for me. And then, of course, what happened, apparently at the Capitol, they weren't prepared. They let people, hop the gates and go inside, and all of a sudden, somebody's in, Mike Pence's seat, and somebody's in Nancy Pelosi's office, and some lady, she gets, clapped up. Rest in peace to her. Because no matter what's going on, you never really want to see anybody pass. I know that some people are more extreme than me in that regard. But I'll say this much. Was it white privilege at work? Yes, of course. If these were black people that were protesting, we probably would have got our fucking heads blown off. Let's be serious. They've taken us out for less. For whatever reason, there's the narrative that we're more of a threat and this, that, and the third. So because of this, anytime that a Black Lives Matter protest happens or somebody decides to protest after, police brutality or something like that, it seems like they got everybody out there. Police, National Guard, they got all the forces. Yesterday with these people, they did not have that, and look what happened. But it's even bigger than white privilege, and I'll tell you why I say that, and you can chime in if you'd like. It's bigger than that because I believe that President Trump actually made calls to let those people in. This is why I say that. For one, there are people that are supporters of Trump in all walks of life. And I can guarantee you that some of the supporters are the U.S. Capitol Police. Some of the supporters were, of course, they might actually be, working in that building and letting people in. There's no way that these people are just getting in and there's not much, force of resistance given to them. It's more than them just not being prepared. They were not prepared, I believe, because they were pretty much ordered to not be prepared. They were ordered by the so-called commander-in-chief to pretty much to let it happen. To let it happen, and really it didn't become a real issue until the people that were in that building had an issue. There's actually, Nancy Pelosi yesterday was actually, she's asking, why the Capitol Police hasn't come. Like she's talking to, she's talking to the chief of them, and she's not really getting much help. The Capitol Police, they didn't come until 4 hours after they were called. And then, of course, there were, there was a task force from VA, there's a task force from Maryland, but there wasn't able to be extra police from our own nation's capital, from the place where the Capitol is actually at. They weren't called on to, like they weren't called on to do anything. Like they didn't come out. They, Maryland and Virginia forces came out before them. To me, and I don't even like to be the conspiracy theorist guy really, but that's way too much of a coincidence for me. It's more than white privilege. It's more than just them just being allowed to go in. They were given orders to. That's why it's white privilege, of course, is kind of like, I don't want to say it's the easy narrative to go with because it's actual and factual, and it shouldn't be looked at as a cop-out or a scapegoat. And I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that if you just look deeper into it, there's a reason why those people were allowed in. There's a reason why there's Capitol Police and forces from that building that were taking pictures with these people. There's a reason for that. They were let in. Well, not even just to say that they were just all in all, some of them were let in, and then some of them, did go, and some of them were allowed in. But that's what's going on, you know what I mean? So all I'm gonna say is this. For anybody that voted for this guy, for anybody that, that allowed him to incite the amount of violence, in them that he did, the jig is up on him. He's fucking going. Y'all don't have anybody to ride with anymore. Hey, Karen, I see you in the building. Nobody to ride with anymore. It's over for y'all. And I'm going to tell you like this. I'm going to tell you like this. You know what's so funny? You know the funniest thing about it? This is the reason why I will say that white privilege is a factor in it, of course. Because you know what those people were saying about the young lady, that was shot and killed in the Capitol yesterday. And those Trump supporters, they were talking about how much of a shame it was, and it shouldn't have been done to her, and this, that, and the third. She was only fighting for her rights. Like, you know what that sounds like? That sounds like us when we say that. That sounds like black folks and supporters of the Black Lives Matter movement that, they say that same exact thing. You know what I mean? They say the same exact thing about, about when one of ours are taken because of police brutality and whatnot. That, hey, Black lives do matter, and that's all we were saying. All we were saying was Black lives matter, but of course that was met with resistance. All lives matter, but we would say Black lives matter, and during our protests, they will say, well, you shouldn't be looting and rioting in your neighborhoods. You shouldn't be rioting and looting here. You shouldn't be rioting and looting there. They were saying that. They were saying that. You know what I mean? But it's funny to me that now, 2 days after, the cops that shot Jacob Blake are pretty much not going to have to undergo any prosecution at all in that matter to that young man, and all he was doing was walking to his car. It's funny that we were saying that, when that happened, Black Lives Matter. When Eric Garner happened, Black Lives Matter. When Sandra Bland happened, Black Lives Matter. When Alton Sterling happened, Black Lives Matter. And I can go on and on and on, and we would say Black Lives Matter, and then somebody will say all lives matter, and then we will protest, and then people will say stop rioting and looting. But in this case, y'all committed a crime. Y'all ran into the Capitol building. And whether you were let in or not, you still broke the law. This person, rest in peace to her, because the one thing I will say about this is that this is America, and all of us can fight for a certain right, no matter how stupid the right you're fighting for is, no matter, how short-sighted or how uninformed you are is. You have the right to fight for it. And hey, they did do something unlawful by being in the Capitol. But honestly, I don't want to see nobody have to be shot and killed, because, hell, I wouldn't even want it to go to that. Because I don't even like, the fact to begin with that they're even supporting that man. But at the end of the day, it's hard for us. Hey, Cheryl, it's hard for us to say that we should have sympathy for that young lady when nobody had sympathy for us when these things were going on. Funny thing is about like even from large segments of white America, when the one young man who went to the protest, I believe I want to say that it was in Wisconsin, and he was just shooting black people. And of course, we found out that this young man, he's a fan of the police. He follows the police. He dressed up in police clothes, and I guess he wants to be a police officer, this, that, and the third. Nobody from that segment, was shedding any tears for those people that got killed. They didn't say that it was a shame. They didn't say that young man shouldn't have done what he done. They actually put more blame on us for protesting. So we're not going to have that same thing for y'all. But the one thing that I will say, in a mere 13 days, it's a wrap for you. It's a wrap for you. 45th, you can get the fuck out. We don't never want to see you again. And on the real, let's be clear. We know why you're doing this shit to begin with. You're doing this shit because let's just face facts. You won the election the last time, and you never really wanted to do the job. You just wanted to incite violence and incite racism and create chaos within this country for the 4 years that you governed over it. And now it's one of those things where, well, you got some blood in your hands, buddy. Let's remember this. Some of the very men that he pardoned over the last month, in his last month of being the president, were people that were locked up for lying for him, for covering for him, for blindly supporting him. They were locked up for him. He pardoned all these people. And it's funny that, you can lock up and you can detain all of the dominoes. All of the dominoes can fall around you, but then but then you don't get locked up. He didn't even say that, he didn't even do the Nino Brown thing in the court when Nino Brown was on trial, when he just pointed to somebody, hey yo, Mr. Kareem Akbar, he was the real leader of the CMB. He didn't even have to do that. He didn't even have to do that. He just didn't get prosecuted, because let's just say this. The impeachment process for him was a farce. It wasn't fully followed through. It wasn't too strongly contested, really. Like, as far as them, doing that, because, and what I've heard is that because of the fact that he was the president, it's harder to really prosecute somebody when somebody's the president. Because let's say this much. The last impeachment that I remembered prior to his was when Bill Clinton got a girl some gifts, got some head, and he was being impeached for, and the impeachment process was perjury. Like, that's what it was. It was about perjury. You know what I mean? What the 45th is doing, it was a lot more serious than that. Let me just say, a lot more serious than that. But it wasn't covered as much as Clinton's. It wasn't, he wasn't as ostracized as Clinton was. Like, we're not talking about perjury because you gave a girl some gifts and you got some hair from a girl. We're talking about you, with corrupt dealings with international governments. Russia, to be exact. But it's over for you. You don't want to be president. You're just fighting from possibly being prosecuted and possibly going to prison. Whether you're going to Gen Pop, whether you're going to Club Fed, whatever you go into, you're not going to be able to just handle things just business as usual. And we ain't forget about your taxes and all that shit. We ain't forget about none of that. But let that be a lesson to the supporters of his yesterday. The ones that were arrested. I heard it was 52 people arrested. 4 people were killed. Let me just say this much to all of y'all. You should never fight for anybody that's not going to fight for you. Martin Luther King was protesting with people. The NOI, the Nation of Islam, they were out there with people. The Black Panthers out there with people. Donald Trump has either been in his office or he's been on the golf course while y'all have been fighting for this man. And my condolences to anybody that's having to deal with that. But at least that's going to end soon, because he's going to go. Now, let me get to something else that I wanted to talk about. I spent too much time talking about that clown. I want to give a shout out and a rest in peace to MF Doom. Legendary rapper, even though he was never mainstream or anything like that, but legendary rapper. And he was somebody that I remember when I was first listening to him, because shouts out to my Ethereal brothers, Halls, B. Goody, Young Heyman, my boy AJ, Boxman, you know what I mean? They were the first people that I was even listening to Doom around. And I was thinking that this cat was wild. I'm like, because he's rapping off beat. Some of the things that he was saying, I wasn't really understanding. But of course, at that time, I was in my 20s. I'll admit, I was in my 20s. I wasn't really too aligned. And because of the fact that I was rapping back then, I felt like, stupidly, like I just knew all there was about rap. Like, you can only rap one way for me. My ears are only going to hear it one way, and that's going to be it. But unfortunately, I'm this guy. I gotta say, I'm this guy. If you tell me that I'm supposed to do something, that I'm supposed to like something, that I'm supposed to laugh at something, that I'm supposed to enjoy something, and you pressing me about it, I'm not going to do it. let's just be clear. I mean, of course, I've kind of progressed since then. Like that's 10, 15 years ago. Like that was me as a youngin' running wild. But if you tell me something like that, I might reject you and reject your notion. But it's something about me where I always remember your words, even if it's something that I don't fully grasp the concept of, or where I grasp it, but I just don't agree with it and I'm not down with it. It'll stay with me. It'll stay with me, and in times of solitude, in times of seclusion, in times of self-reflection, I will. Let me see what's going on. I will. Hey, cuz, what's going on? But I will, then think about everything, and then I would actually think about how right I was. Unfortunately, in my time, I'm human. I'm like a lot of people where where you do something wrong, you do something foul, and then somebody, they come back, they're able to think about everything that it's entailed, especially, and it's easier to think when you feel like somebody isn't berating you, when you feel like somebody isn't arguing with you, because it gets to a point, once you arguing with somebody, once they done made you mad, now you can't even hear nothing that they say. The logic has gone out the window. The consciousness has gone out the window. Now I'm just saying whatever the fuck about you that I want to say, and that's that. You know what I mean? And that was me with MF Doom. 10 years later, I got many of his, I mean, not many, but well, I do, stream many of his works. I actually do have a couple of his vinyls. I got, Operation Doomsday and Mad Villain. Those are like, Mad Villainy. Those are classics. A lot of great beats from that, rhyme schemes from that. His style was impeccable. And then just the way that he lived his life, as a rapper, because of course he rapped back in the day, back in the '90s, when when everybody was rapping back then, and then he pretty much reinvented himself, came out with the Mask, of course, MF Doom, similar, reminiscent of Doctor Doom, if anybody knows, from that universe, and he was just his. He just became a character among himself, to the point that he was even fucking. They would say that he would be performing, but it wasn't even him. It was somebody else performing. They had his mask on. And he's a dope brother, crazy. He never wanted to he never wanted to really fall in line with the industry standards. He was him. And he was him until the day that he passed. And it's funny because he passed it, he transitioned on October 31st. Of course, his wife let us know, made us aware of it on December the 31st, New Year's Eve, what I'm saying, where all of us are trying to, we're trying to make the best of a bad year. Definitely the worst year in my life. And I know that some people, I know that some people think that, like if you go into like previous times, of course, there's people that's been living, during civil rights times. There's people that was living during Jim Crow. There's, people that were living, that lived during the Great Depression. They might have been very young, but they were living during that time. So they would definitely say that those times were worse. It was a day or so that was worse, you know what I mean? But of course, 2020, this year, this is what I know as the best year, as the worst year of my life by far, just because of everything that it entailed. If you ask me, 2010 was really mine because that's when my mother had passed. But 2020 was the year because it wasn't just about how bad things were going for me. It was about how bad things were going for everybody. You know what I mean? And it's classic that he transitioned on Halloween, and then his wife let us know on New Year's Eve, where you definitely got to believe that there was some kind of design in that, because nobody even know. Like, it didn't even get out. You know what I mean? Because if that got out and if somebody really cared enough, that's something that a Shade Room, that a Baller Alert, that a TMZ would know. TMZ knew that Kobe Bryant died before all the bodies were identified in the helicopter crash. But they didn't know about MF Doom passing. And it's just a great thing. It's a great feeling. I didn't know the man personally, of course, never met him in my life, but I love his music, and his music touches me, and just him as a character, that touches me. And I'm gonna keep that going. I'm gonna celebrate his life. And now, since I got a little bit of time during the weekend, I'm probably just gonna sit and I'm probably gonna listen to each of the vinyls that I have of him multiple times while I'm just chilling, cleaning the crib, cooking, whatever little, whatever little chores, whatever little things I might be doing, and I might do that, and I might rock with them. So that's that on that. What we looking for time? Oh yeah, we just 30 minutes in. All right, so let me say this right now. I know football fans is going to be in the building. Of course, we've been watching football every week. We've been trying once again. With COVID, we've been trying to get our minds off of things with, some kind of entertainment, some kind of pleasure, some, laughter, whatever it is. And football was definitely that for a lot of people. And I know Angie, big time Ravens fan, already know that. Y'all in the playoffs, salute to us. Y'all bust my team's ass this year, salute to y'all. But I know that I'll say this much. I'm only going to talk about one thing, really. The big topic this past week was about the Philadelphia Eagles when their season was already over. The week prior. Okay, the little, oh, you want to come on my live? I'm only going to say this. No, I'm not going to have anybody come on my live for at least a couple of episodes, mainly because I'm just starting this thing and I'm doing this, and then I'm editing stuff on YouTube, because I'll be dropping this on YouTube on Sunday as well. I got another video going on from that. So until I really get all the kinks out and I really start editing and things of that nature, not gonna have anybody jumping in quite so soon. It'll probably be like a few weeks. Definitely keep checking me. Definitely keep watching, and definitely I'll put you in. I'll definitely lock you in, because this is going to be an every Tuesday night thing. Every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Facebook Live. I'm doing it every week. So, people will get the opportunities, if they want to get on. So, yeah, cuz just keep watching and remind me if you're in the building, and I let you know, I let you get down. So, of course, with the Eagles, like I was saying, the Eagles, they were already eliminated. My team, the Cowboys, they eliminated them, the week prior to that. So, what was happening this past Sunday was that the Giants and the Cowboys were playing, and the Redskins and, I'm sorry, not the Redskins. They're not the Redskins anymore. They're not the Redskins. They're not the Redskins. That's offensive to Native Americans. They're not the Redskins. The Washington football team played the Eagles. And if the Washington football team, if they won, then they would, a win, and one win, and they win in the division. They don't need no help. All they needed to do was win. You know what I mean? If they lost, they was out. Because if they lost, then the winner of the Giants and the Cowboys game will win that division. Of course, the first game, the Giants, when the game was close, I'm just going to say that they smacked us up, because it hurts me. I won't lie, I'm a Cowboys fan. I've been a lifelong Cowboys fan, and it hurts me. It hurts that even though our whole division was so trash, that we had a chance to last week and we didn't get it done. And there's no excuses. We played like trash most of the year, and we didn't get it done. So that's that. But then, of course, later on that night, with the Washington football team and the Philadelphia Eagles game, with Philly pretty much not playing for anything except maybe for being a spoiler. and winning the game just for pride, especially with pride in that division, and with on the and then on the negative side, they have a chance to, of course, up their draft positioning if they indeed, um, excuse me, if they indeed lose the game. So they had a chance in the fourth quarter. Game was still close, and that's when they pulled their starting quarterback at the time, Jalen Hurts, for Nate Sudfeld, who was their backup. And people were going crazy. People were going nuts, especially Giants fans were going nuts. They were going crazy. Analysts, everybody's talking about, how Doug Peterson, how he intentionally tanked the game, talking about how, it hurt the integrity of the game. You're not supposed to tank. You're supposed to win every week, this, and the third. What may have you. Woo. I will say this much. I'm going to make a few points about that, and then I'm going to get off of that quickly. Number one, if you bench Carson Wentz, who was the starter, who's your big money guy, his contract and entitled him to 100 plus guaranteed money, 100 million plus guaranteed money, then, he would end up, you would feel like he would end up being your starter. Like if you're picking between him and a second round draft pick of rookie who got drafted this year, you would think that Carson Wentz was going to be the starter, but Carson Wentz, he didn't have the best of years. He didn't really play that well throughout. And because of that, he ended up getting benched for Jalen Hurts, the rookie, the second round pick. So, pretty much with that, Jalen Hurts named the starter, was the starter in this game. See what the rookies got. Because what you want to see now is that if you bench Carson Wentz, and more than likely, if Doug Peterson is going to be coaching that team next year, Carson Wentz will not be there. See what you got for the rookie. See if he's going to be your starter for the future. Let this game be a complete evaluation. See if he can actually win a game late in the fourth quarter against a team who's playing for a playoff spot. But you put in the bench player, Nate Sudfeld. And the one thing that we know about Nate Sudfeld, for anybody that's familiar with the situation, Nate Sudfeld has been a backup since 2017. If you say that you're putting that man in the game in the fourth quarter because you say that he deserves some reps, because you say that you that you want to evaluate him for next year, now we have to wonder. If you're evaluating to see if he's going to be a starter next year, there's no need to put him in the game if you started Jalen Hurts. If anything, you would want to start him in the beginning of the game. You would want to start him the whole game. And you would do that, or you would use next year's preseason, if there is a preseason, to evaluate him then, to make it a quarterback competition. A true quarterback competition where when the preseason starts, you don't name a starter and you just let them play it out. Those two guys. The incumbent backup and the guy that came in this year who looks like he's going to be a starter. You know what I'm saying? Tone, I see you, baby. Was that Tone? Was that my man? No, that's JC right there. Okay. See, all I saw was the Chiefs jersey. all I saw was the Chiefs jersey, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't know if it was my man Tone or JC. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, my brother? But listen, right? So pretty much with Nate Sudfeld, you're lying if you say that you want to evaluate him for next year, because I don't think that you are going to go into. I don't know if you're going to go into next year with Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts, and Nate Sudfeld on your depth chart. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at all. So you're lying there. another reason why I feel like it was just terrible for him to do is because, bruh, you bench your starting quarterback who was guaranteed $100 million upon signing. You benched him for a rookie for a second round draft pick where he's not playing like gangbusters. He ain't having a rookie year like how RG3 had when he played with Washington, his rookie year and never again. He didn't have a rookie year like a Russell Wilson. He didn't have a rookie year like a Dak Prescott. His rookie year was so-so. I mean, he injected, he injected some energy into that team. Maybe for like some of the guys in that locker room that didn't want to play for Carson Wentz, he injected some energy for them. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's uncontested. That's undisputed right there. I ain't even gonna lie to you there. But what I will say is that if he's saying right now that he wants to be traded because the relationship with you and him has been burnt beyond repair, we don't know what the owner's going to do. We don't know what the GM's going to do. We don't even know if you're going to be the coach next year. And you don't know either. So it ain't time to be playing games with your depth chart. If you bench Carson Wentz and now the relationship is beyond repair and you're going to start the young guy, start the young guy. There's no need for you to be playing... there's no need for you to be playing Nate Sudfeld, especially during the time that you put him in, because... You evaluate that young guy that you drafted to see if he's going to be your future. He's on a rookie contract. He was drafted in the second round. You got him for 4 years. It might be 3 and then an option, but you got him for 4 years, which will be 3 more from now, where you'll be paying him on a rookie contract. I'm not evaluating Nate Sudfeld for shit, especially when I know that he's the backup. He's a career backup. So when it comes to me having to pay, what you pay most backups, anywhere between $3 and $7 million. So what if he's an unrestricted free agent? If you bring him back, you're going to be paying him peanuts when you bring him back. I'm not evaluating him for nothing. He's been in my office since 2017. He's learned everything that he's going to learn. He's performed probably as well as he's ever going to perform. That's it for him. It's a Rapsky. It's a done deal. You don't know if you're going to be the coach. So you don't be playing games with your coaching career playing that man. Because you've already ruined your relationship with Carson Wentz where next year either you're not going to be there or he's not going to be there. And now you're playing more games with it? Come on now. And then we know that you weren't trying to win. If you're going to put homie in the fourth quarter, you don't put him in at the start of the game. You don't even put him in at the start of the third quarter. Doug Peterson, you better be lucky that you won a Super Bowl years ago, because that's the only thing, the only thing that's keeping Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, from firing your ass right now. If you did not have a Super Bowl on your resume, you would be gone. I've known coaches that have done a lot worse than what you've done right now. But you got a Super Bowl, so you might be good. But this is the thing. Even if they find a trade partner with Carson Wentz, the Eagles are going to have to take some of the hit. Hey, Paige, how's it going? You're going to have to take some of the hit. Period. You know what I mean? So they might still try to make it work if Carson Wentz, especially if they talk to Carson Wentz in the exit interviews, that of course, the ownership that the front office has with the players, and he says, you know what? I got no problem with remaining with this team if you start me and if he's gone. I know, right? You know what I'm saying? So, am I going to say it's an integrity of the game thing? Nah, because teams tank all the time. And teams definitely tank in the NFL because there's no draft lottery like in the NBA. Whatever your standing is, whatever your place is, whatever you finish in, whatever place you finish in, that's the draft pick that you're getting. And because of that loss, they went from getting the number 9 draft pick to the number 6. So they ain't the first team to tank, and they for damn sure won't be the last. So who gives a shit, right? And I will make a statement about my Cowboys real quick as well while I'm talking about football. Listen here, Cowboys fans, I'm talking to y'all right now. Right now, anybody that's this year that's beaten us or finished with a better record this year, which is a lot of people, because we were trash this year, they can get all the bragging rights that they want on us. I don't give it. To me, there's never any excuses on the football field. I don't give a damn that Dak was hurt. I don't give a damn that we had new coaches. I don't give a damn about the defensive coordinator. All I give a damn about is what my players are doing on the field. And for the large part of this year, I saw that my players did not have the effort. And I'll say this much. Jerry Jones all of a sudden now wants to draw a line in the sand with what he's going to pay somebody. Struggling to pay Dak Prescott what he wants. But at the same token, you have paid DeMarcus Lawrence $20+ million as a DN, where he was supposed to be a sack specialist before he signed that contract, before he signed that extension. He was supposed to be some kind of sack specialist. And he does appear this year to be a somewhat decent run stopper, but they didn't pay you $20 million+ for you to be stopping runs. They paid you for you to be making at least 10+ sacks. They paid you to at least be some kind of game changer, to be some kind of game shifter, to be a stalwart on the defensive line. That's what they paid you to do. They did not pay you $20 million for what you're doing right now. Amari Cooper, they're paying you $20+ million. You've done a serviceable job at wideout. But they paid you $20+ million for you to be one of the top 5 in the league. Oh, it's been a minute. See, that was from back in the day, was like when I was rapping, like when I was cool with like some of the YouTube and Facebook rappers back in the day. But thank you for coming out. So listen, right? We paid him to be at least top 3. We paid you to do that. We didn't pay you to be serviceable at wideout. We didn't pay you to disappear in big moments. We didn't pay you to wave out of games when certain things are going down. We didn't pay you for that. Ezekiel Elliott, we did not pay you for whatever you're doing. Whatever you're doing right now, we did not pay you for that. We didn't pay you for that at all. Whatever you're doing right now, it's not happening. You don't have the same burst. You don't have the same wherewithal. You're not as tough as you used to be. You're waving out of games and things of that nature. I don't give a damn if you're having a problem with this or you're having a problem with that. If you are entering the game, you playing the game. And if you are hurt and things of that nature, let your coach pull you out the game. You don't wave out for shit. You don't wave out. You don't wave out of a game for nothing. And then we see you a couple plays later. You just look like you're tired, bro. You can talk about your calf. You can talk about. You look like you're tired, bro. And we pay you too much money for that. We pay you too much money for that, my bro. We pay you too much damn money. I will say this, defense, and I'm talking to the defense as a whole. I don't give a damn what kind of defense that the coordinator Mike Nolan brought in. And I don't give a damn that Mike McCarthy brought him in. I've seen y'all give up on plays. I've seen y'all stop running. I've seen y'all miss assignments. I've seen people just running free. I've seen that. You can't blame your defensive coordinator for that. You can't blame them for having you prepared, especially when you, Xavier Woods, yes, you, Xavier Woods, our safety, said early on in the season, you can't expect anybody to be ready and to give it their 100% effort on 70 plays. This is football, and that's what you get paid to do. Especially you, bro. You still young. You ain't get paid no big money contract yet. And from saying shit like that, and from looking the way that you look on the field, it looks like you probably never will. So, there you go. That's that. So, all in all, I know that Dak Prescott, he got hurt his ankle, gruesome injury. He had a dislocated ankle. The shit turned. The shit looked like it turned freaking, 45 degrees or whatever it is. It looked like that's what happened. And I know that it was gruesome. But honestly, you're not going to use that as an excuse to not pay that man. I saw Tom Brady have a torn ACL in his career. And he came back stronger than ever. Won more Super Bowls. After that, you're not going to use somebody that's been playing for 5 years on your team that is the unquestioned leader on the team. That is the best player on the team. You're not going to try to use this ankle injury for leverage. You know what Dak Prescott's leverage is? His leverage is Andy Dalton. His leverage is Garrett Gilbert. His leverage is Ben DiNucci. His leverage is the way that Ezekiel Elliott looks lost whenever he's not on the field. That's his leverage. That's his leverage. You pay that man. And you know what you do when you pay that man? This is what you do. DeMarcus Lawrence, you can trade his ass right now today. Whenever you're able to trade him, trade his ass now. Trade his ass immediately. You can get him the fuck out of here, and it's $20 million a year. You can get him out of here. Amari Cooper, you just signed your contract in this past offseason. We're going to give you another shot this year. If not, get his ass out of here. Ezekiel Elliott, same damn thing. And you actually try to bogart to get a contract. You got a contract before Zeke. Before Dak. Get your ass out of here if you don't shape up next year. Get out of here too. That's what y'all can do. Either way, Jerry Jones, pay that man. And if you get rid of these big money contract players that aren't producing, you'll have even more money to pay them, and there'll be no excuse. So that's that. Free in the building. What's going on? I encourage anybody that's checked me out, anytime during the show, you can watch it from the beginning. You can share it with your people. That way it can get on your timeline, so you can always refer to it if you want to check it out from the beginning. I didn't even promote it this week because this is my first time doing it back in a while, but I will be doing it again. Doing that again. Hey, Free. You a wild boy. You a wild boy. You my brother, but you a wild boy. This for saying that, you know what? Every Thursday, 8 p.m., Free, I'm back. Whatever comments you want to make, we can do it. We can do it. Nah, but I miss all that. I miss everything. I miss the engagement. I miss it. I love it. It's a beautiful thing. But that's all I want to say, to my cow. I'm just telling the world that I'm not these other Cowboys fans. I'm not these delusional Cowboy fans. I'm going to tell you when my team is trash. When my team is looking good, I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to take a wait and see approach because my team hasn't been to a Super Bowl, hasn't been to an NFC Championship game in 25 years. So I'm not going to be beating my chest out saying every year we're going to be winning the Super Bowl like some other Cowboys fans do. I mean, hell, even the Eagles have won a Super Bowl. So we can't say shit about it until we get back to that point. But that's all I had on that. And let me see. I did have one more thing to say before I get out of here, because I think I'm just going to be doing these for an hour now. I used to try to do my Kingdom of Coff Bizz show back in the day for 30 minutes. About 15 minutes and talk about one topic. Now this is full on podcast mode, baby. You get me for an hour. We in this thing. But lastly, I'm gonna just say one last thing. Just to be serious for the end of it. Once again, shouts out to anybody that's dealing with this COVID problem in any shape, form, or fashion. Anybody that's lost a job, anybody that's been having trouble feed their families, anybody that's been dealing with loved ones that had it. My condolences to anybody that's lost anybody to COVID. And I'll say this much. If you're going to get the vaccine, because I've been hearing a bunch of people saying that they're not, I probably will do it myself, but I think that I might. I'm still doing the research on the 2 that's already come out, as well as the 3rd that might potentially get approved. But I'm definitely looking at everything. I'm not just gonna be the first one just jumping out the window. I ain't gonna I ain't gonna let them make a Tuskegee experiment out of me. So, I'm not just gonna be jumping out the window, being the first in line to get it. I'm still doing my research as we speak, because of course they're doing their research as they speak. You know what I'm saying? As people are taking it. So, so that's that. But yeah, but if you are that's just me just saying, if you are gonna get it, just try to be as informed as you can. Try to get as much research about it as you can. Before you just blindly get, because they're just telling everybody to just get the vaccine, but they're not mentioning too much about people that have, health problems, about people that have this and that, people that already have heart disease, people that already have cancer, people that already have diabetes and different afflictions already, to just blindly take a vaccine. Nobody's really saying too much about that, because they don't really know the info yet. So if you do, I encourage you to get as much info on it as you possibly can. Because, of course, the goal behind the vaccine is to fix this problem as much as possible, to no longer have it be a pandemic, to have it be like another, I guess, normal illness that I can say. That's maybe the wrong word, but I don't really know the right word. But meaning that it's something like a flu, it's something like a cold, it's something like pneumonia, where, of course, some people, they die from the flu. Some people have died from pneumonia, and they died from different, and they've died from different complications of those things. But at the same token, it's something that there's vaccines for. There's over the counter medicine for. There's different things that can give you the hope that, well, yeah, if I have a cold, if I have the flu, if I have pneumonia, if I go into a hospital, I can be treated and I can be okay. If I have a cold or a flu, I can get over the counter medicine, or I can get prescription medicine, and I can be okay. Right now, that's not the thing with COVID yet. And luckily at this point, I have not, contracted, COVID. I've taken, various tests, based on, different things that I've done, especially with my, with my trip to Georgia that I took. And I was cool, because, of course, I still, try to go to the gym and all that. Those bastards that stormed the Capitol was the reason why I wasn't able to go to the gym yesterday, because by the time I found out about it, I was out and about doing things, and I couldn't go to the gym like I wanted to do, like I normally do on Wednesdays. I had to wait to do it today after I was doing some things. So, so because of that, I went to the gym today, but I do go to the gym regularly. I'm not an avid dieter or nothing like that. I'm not doing no keto stuff and none of that. but I do try to eat as well as I can at certain times. Of course, I do have my fast food and things of that nature, but but we getting our veggies on, we getting our good protein on and things of that nature. We do all of that. We do all of that. You know what I mean? Vitamin C's up for this season. We try to do as much as we can do to have our immune system up. So at least if we do catch it, hopefully the symptoms don't take us out. That's all I really know. I mean, because the same thing that I would do to either prevent or deal with colds, flus, pneumonias, and things of that nature are the same things I'm doing now. I'm not going to just not have any hope and just say, well, hey, because we don't really quite know enough about COVID because we've only been really dealing with the pandemic for about a year now, that, well, yeah, nothing works for us, so I'm just not going to work out. I'm not going to eat right. I'm not going to do things. And especially in times like this, mental health is key. Mental health is key because I know that during the lockdown, a lot of people were in the house. I remember when we had our first real lockdown in the DC in the DMV, and I had actually called my homeboy. I was talking to my homeboy and his girl, and I was telling them about how I was going crazy in my head because I was just in the crib. Because I got laid off from my gig because of what was going on, and I was just in the crib. I just wasn't. I was going crazy. Like, I was going crazy, and I was going not suicidal, but it was just some things on my mind that that I was trying to fix, that I was trying to get right. So, but I talked to them. I got out of it. I started writing. I started reading. I started taking in good information, trying to push out bad information, and getting right with whoever you get right with. Me, I was getting right with the Lord. Whoever you get right with, you get right with them. You know what I mean? To try to get that negative energy out and put that positive energy in. So, of course, positivity is key. You know what I mean? And all of us, we can be the fighters that we are. Except if you're running in the U.S. Capitol. That's just plain stupid. And I'm sorry, I tried not to, and that was no real joke. I mean, that wasn't funny or nothing like that. But, sometimes what we got to realize, and I'm going to say this before I get out of here. Like I said in the beginning of the video, and anybody that's checking it out now that caught it halfway or caught it in the middle, please, I encourage you to watch it from the beginning and even share it, to share it or comment on it, whatever you can do, to try to, put it on your timeline or whatever so other people can see it as well. But I'd say that for anybody that believes that white privilege exists, you saw it yesterday. And of course now, because of the people that have died because of that protest, and I'm really going to call a riot because that's what it is. Anytime that somebody's not peacefully protesting and they're just running in buildings, that's a riot at that point. That's the same thing that they criticize us for with the looting. It's the same thing, same exact thing, and we're not going to let that ride. We're not going to let that ride at all. You know what I'm saying? So, for those people that were killed, for the people that were arrested, and they're currently on social media sites talking about how much of a misjustice it is. Just Green was good, baby. And they're talking about, how unjust everything is and all that kind of stuff. Remember this. When we told you the same thing about Black Lives Matter and talking about police brutality, and y'all were telling us to, to stop looting our own neighborhoods and all that kind of stuff, or that Black Lives Matter shouldn't exist. It should be All Lives Matter, or it should be Blue Lives Matter, and all this kind of stuff. Now you see what we're going through. And if you've experienced it firsthand and you still can't get the point, then you just lost. And you kind of deserve the results that you're getting from being misinformed, because there is a point that you are choosing to be misinformed. You're choosing to not be too smart about a particular situation. That's what you're choosing to do. And when you're choosing to do that, that's your problem now. Because we told y'all, when y'all said, to get over it, oh, well, stop resisting from the police, then police brutality won't occur. Y'all told us that, right? That's what y'all told us, right? Y'all told us that. And we were telling y'all that we were trying to fight for our rights and we were trying to peacefully protest and things of that nature. The same U.S. Capitol that we peacefully protested. I'm saying we in spirit because I really wasn't there. During the time of COVID, I'm not protesting amongst that many people. I'm worrying about my health, more so than anything. But I do, protest in spirit, and I do talk on platforms like this to get the word out, and I do that from that aspect. And whether you think it's enough or not, that's clearly your opinion, and I'll just have to stand with that. But but the same U.S. Capitol that we peacefully protested at, when they had National Guard, their military, people just in front of us, preventing us to get in there. They didn't do that for y'all. They didn't do that for y'all. And if you still can't feel our pain, then it's a wrap for you. I'm not, in 2021, I'm no longer talking to people that are choosing to be misinformed. Trust me, I'm not the smartest man in the world, far from it. I'm very stupid, I'm very ignorant on a lot of things. Because there's things that I don't know about, there's things that I haven't experienced, there's things that I haven't quite grasped, and there's things that I don't give a damn. I'm still not rolling with it. Whether it be emotional, whether it be mental, whatever it is, I'm just not doing it. But when you're just willingly ignorant about something, nah, you're not taking my energy. Yesterday I was rolling with somebody when we were, doing some volunteer work, distributing food and whatnot. And he's going crazy talking to Trump. Like, why is Trump saying these things? I'm like, look, bro. He is going to try to fight this thing as much as he can, because I believe that he doesn't want to be the president. He didn't want to be the president when he got elected for the stuff. But I feel like he knows that dominoes are starting to fall. All of the people that he pardoned because, either they committed perjury or they were lying or whatever it was that they were doing, and they didn't try to get him, it's going to be a lot easier for them to get him now because he's no longer the president. Because we all know that they don't try to prosecute a president for anything while they're in office. So once they get out of office, then they're going to try to get at that man. They're going to try to get at that man with justice in mind. And he don't want that. He doesn't want that. So that's why he's encouraging these people to do this stuff. He's encouraging these people. The thing that's so crazy, bro, like, see, me at all the Million Man marches that I went to, the Million Family March, whatever march I've been to, you know who was there every time that we were marching? Louis Farrakhan was there every time that we were marching. Every time. Back in the day, before my time, before I was living, Martin Luther King was protesting with them. He was getting locked up with them. Malcolm X, NOI, they were doing it. Black Panthers, they were doing it. Trump is talking from his keyboard on Twitter, encouraging people to protest for him, and he's not even there with them. He's not even there with them. He ain't running in the Capitol with y'all. When guns get drawn out by police, he ain't riding with y'all. He not walking with y'all. He not marching with y'all. He not doing nothing. He's cool because he's got money. He's got influence. He's got power. He don't give a damn about y'all. He don't care about nobody but himself. But himself. Let me say that right. Himself. He don't care about anybody but himself. And once y'all realize that, you'll be better off. Maybe it will be a better America then. This whole "Make America Great" thing, "Make America Great Again" thing that he was spewing out from the time that he started running. Y'all really don't realize what y'all done. Y'all really don't realize that y'all made America worse. And it's not just that y'all made America worse, but y'all have actually made America worse for y'all. The same people that are fighting this stuff, that's fighting for a man that wouldn't fight for you, that's fighting for a man that wouldn't give a damn about you, that wouldn't spit on you if you was on fire. If you don't know now, you never will. And it's nothing for us to talk about. We don't need to be at no table, no podium together. There's nothing for us to discuss. It's a wrap for that then. It's over. You know what I mean? Just like this podcast is about to be over. And to an end, my brother JC, just so you know, I couldn't be there. I couldn't hang with you tonight. Well, as you can see right now, probably every Thursday for me, I'm probably just going to be doing this. You know what I mean? Unless it's going to be a situation where I actually record this elsewhere and then we can get out and hang out. But I'm going to take a couple of drinks for you tonight. My man, my brother. And for anybody that's watching with me today, anybody that watched any time in this program, anybody that will watch, I thank you, I salute you, and I want you to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember that every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, the Kingdom of Coff Bizz is on Facebook Live. I'm back on Facebook Live, and it's great to be because I enjoy the engagement that I have with the people that ride for me. And then every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, YouTube, I drop the episode there as well. And this will be a weekly thing. If there's any, episode day changes, if I got to drop on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday or something like that, I'll let you know. You know what I mean? And hey, y'all know where I'm at. If you watch, especially if you're watching me and I see that you in the building, and because that lets me know that somebody is a friend of mine, that somebody is a follower of mine on Facebook. Anybody that's watching now that's not, please do so. Please make yourself known to me on my page. But I do know that, hey, we doing this thing together. I love it. I appreciate it, man. And until next Thursday, 8 p.m. One more thing. Because actually, one of my cousins came in the building and she wanted to go on my live. She wanted to go on my live so bad, And I did want to hear what my cuz had to say. You know what I mean? But I will say this. For right now, at least for like the first couple of weeks, I'm doing this, and I'm doing this myself. I'm actually going to be working on actually editing my videos and things of that nature. So until I feel like I get perfected at, post editing and things of that nature, to the fact that I can even do some bomb pre-editing, then I'll actually incorporate the people jumping into the live and being on camera if they want to be on there. So it's not that I don't want anybody to be on there, because I like it when people are on my camera. You know what I mean? I like it, of course I like it when people are on my comments and they're talking, but I enjoy it even more when I actually see that person on camera. It's like we're in the same room together and we just rapping together and engaging and exchanging information. You know what I mean? But probably not for like a few weeks. If you do want to do that, you can definitely still request either way each time that I do this. And if I'm ready, I plug you in. So that's that. It's your boy, Kingdom Coff Bizz. I appreciate y'all. Till next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Live and direct from Simple City, Southeast Washington, D.C. And I'm out.